Alright, we are YouTube live.
Oh snap!
It's changed.
What's good, world?
Spotify and stuff. So you were saying like, so to finish your story about the guy, 'cause that was interesting.
Yes,
You
I
were
think
talking
I
to
think
me
I
this morning.
I think I convinced this guy to just go download the app.
Yeah.
The thing is he wants all this fancy ATG equipment, and I was like, I mean, look, I don't know what your budget is for a gym membership, but like you can get access to this. You don't have to be a coach. A lot of
Right.
guys in here aren't actually professional coaches. They're just part of the coaches program. They pay for that.
Yeah.
$100 a month last time I checked, and you can get the app with the programs, with the coaching, and the gym. He's like, oh, well, like, does someone like you come with the gym? Is they always in the gym, like giving me pointers? I'm like, nope. Sometimes you come in here, you have it all to yourself. Sometimes you come in here, and again, you'll have guys that maybe are actual coaches, maybe they're not, maybe they're just working for the company. But yeah, everyone will be down to give you advice, more or less, as long as they actually, have been doing it for a minute. But what's funny is that he grew up with Ben. Basically, he's been knowing these guys for 6 years. He knew them when they had the original location up the street,
Yeah.
and he was just, you could see like his envious smile, kind of like, can't believe they did it, man. Like they really did it.
That's
He's
amazing,
changed
yeah.
the game. You just see grinning ear to ear.
Yeah.
And because he's known them since the beginning.
That's amazing.
So it was interesting, and I actually told him to hit you up because I was like, look, if for whatever reason you want another option than what I just told you, the coaches membership, then you can go down the street to Rift, which is another gym that you can work out at. I don't know what their monthly gym membership is. It's probably less than $100 a month.
A little bit, yeah. For the open gym.
A little bit, okay.
Yeah, for the open gym. I'll tell you some of the options later.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I told him, I said, and they have all the ATG equipment, and they have ATG coaches that will train you there.
Yeah.
Which is, again, not what you're going to get here. So so he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of that place, I'm like, they have tons of ATG influence. So
Yeah.
I said, hit up my boy Ruben, he's there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Russian guy walks in with half his tooth missing. You know who we sent him.
We'll say it was your referral, and then you can get you a free month or some shit. for
Perfect,
that.
let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So the reason that Rift has so much like ATG influence is they actually used to be Evolve. So have you heard of Evolve?
No, I don't know their
So-
origin story.
Yeah. So it was a membership, and
know
there's
how they
so many
evolved.
original. There's so many ATG like original ATG members that actually go to Rift because
Right.
it was like the remainder of what ATG gym used to be. Let's put these on the book.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Zay's gonna be watching this
No
and gonna be
doubt.
like, "Yo, stop putting that on the wood." So,
Ruben's a good man.
so Evolve was a mixture of Bulletproof Pac-Man, who now owns Bulletproof Athletics, Mr. Infinity, who has his own studio,
Okay.
Connor Barth, who is now working for ATG.
Right.
He actually was working for Rift, like part owner of it,
Okay.
until I got in there, and he's actually how I got the job at Rift.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he was like, "Hey, I'm leaving for Orlando, and I'm going to be joining ATG online, so I can't work here anymore." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Are they hiring?" And then he hooked me up with Ben Gilbert, who is the owner of Rift, and was like, "Yeah, let's go." So, anyways, they used to be called Evolve before it was Rift. So, Bulletproof
Wow.
Pac-Man, Mr. Infinity, Connor Barth, and Ben Gilbert, who's the owner of Rift now, were a team together, and they had their own gym. And they basically took all of the clients that Ben was coaching before the pandemic and absorbed them because Ben kind of had to put up his business. He sold the old gym. And with that, he started ATG Online Coaching.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all the old equipment that Ben had and Mr. Infinity and all that we still have that. And then Fergie, who is the equipment manager for ATG,
Right.
actually goes to Rift. Him and his wife go there.
I saw him the other
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Yeah,
He didn't
exactly.
see me. I guess he was headed out.
Yeah, and they own, so Fergie gets us discounts on all the ATG equipment, so that's why we have the mobility box, the family Nordic bench, the buddies, pretty much everything there, yeah.
You have a little incentive to get the ATG stuff. And I
Yeah.
even saw the first time I was in there, a Nordic bench by Mr. Infinity. I didn't even know he was in the business.
He made the first Nordic bench back extension.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? The first one?
Yeah.
And now we know the
Yeah.
famous freak athlete version,
Oh yeah,
which is
Yeah.
maybe the best version out right now.
dude, it's the best back extension version. Just a back extension is the best one. period.
In
And I
the
really
game.
like the Nordic one too. Like I like it better than some of the other ones we know about.
Yeah.
And I'm really biased because obviously Tiffany works for them. But I definitely think that
You get to use it a lot.
Yeah,
So you get to
exactly.
really see the difference.
yeah. But I think the ATG one's definitely the best. But it obviously doesn't come with all the other stuff.
Right.
But the ATG one's definitely better for like gyms, whereas the Freak Athlete one's better for home gyms because it's like so much bang for your buck. You know, it's like 8 different machines in one. But if you were to have that in a crunch, it would be so hard. Like nobody could figure out like how to work it or whatever.
That's a great point. That's
Yeah.
good insight. Yeah. And is it lighter? I feel like it's really light. Like you can just like kind of like store
The
it really
Nordic Hyper?
easily. Yeah.
It's pretty light.
Lighter
Yeah.
than probably like the assisted Nordic.
No,
No?
No.
About the same or even
no,
heavier?
that they're about. It's a little bit heavier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got so much stuff in it, dude.
Dude, I've never even tried it.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta
So,
try it. We have it
yeah.
at the house.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. The next podcast we'll do at the house.
Yeah.
And we'll do a workout while we talk.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It'll be Mike's first time on the Freak Athlete.
Give it a review.
Yeah, give it a review.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if they sponsor
Live
you, they'll
review.
just send you one. Like, you know, especially if you blow up your social media big enough.
Right.
'Cause Tiffany's actually, I mean, I don't know how much I should tell people, but she's actually the social media manager for Freak Athlete now.
Wow.
Like,
Congrats
they're
to her.
shifting her role over to that. She was like customer management, but now she's like affiliate engagement. So she's going to be doing that and their social media. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Well, congrats. Cheers to Tiff. Shout
So
out.
if you blow up your social media enough, they might be able to get you one.
That's
you
how
know?
it works in this
Yeah.
world. Yeah, well, that's
100%.
definitely the goal. Not necessarily to get that piece of equipment, but
Yeah.
I would certainly take one. And social media is the major money move and everything else in
Well,
this day and age.
Attention is like becoming basically a currency, you know?
Yep, influence, right? That's why they call
Yeah.
them influencers. So it seems like when you hit the 10,000 mark is when you really get like a lot more opportunity. That's what
Yeah.
I've at least been told. In Young's, my girlfriend's been told that. That being said, a lot of people, in my experience, make a very good living, whatever they're selling, not having that much of a following, you know, because it's just I guess their following, the people they do have, are very loyal. Their message is very good. Their follow-up game is probably really good. You know, how they bring in those leads and how they, just kind of manage those leads that they do get. It's more about higher quality over quantity.
Right.
Right at that point.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I only have like 2,000 followers, or I have
That's
3,000
good.
3,000
Yeah.
followers, but like, yeah, nothing crazy at all. But I'm able to make a living off of social media because I don't know, I have enough engagement going on. Of course, it'll be much better situation for me if I'm, at where like Justin Mucci is, where he's
Right.
blowing up to 70K. I think
Yeah,
that's
he's got over 100,000 now.
100,000 now.
Yeah, he's a
Shout out
beast.
Justin Mooch.
Yeah.
Shout out
to
Andres. Let's be
Mooch.
real.
Yeah, Andres, yeah. Well, both of them, man. Like, Mooch is a heck of a talent. He's got
No
such
doubt.
a will and such a positive
Definitely.
mentality. Like, I look up to him. He's younger than I am.
I think we
so,
all do. Yeah, and for that reason too, right?
Yeah.
Because he's so much younger, it's like, God
Yeah.
damn, like.
Well, I mean, dude, if you set your mind to it, you can do it, and he's
No
like a
doubt.
great example of that. I feel like
He's grinding.
we're all a great example of that. It's just for me, I've been aiming kind of low, because I was so low for so long. It's like making that transformation from where I was to where I'm at now. Like, I'm so thankful that I've come this far, and every goal I've like set, I fucking hit. So I just gotta keep aiming higher, bro. And
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Like at the start of the year, did you go to that potluck where we all kind of made goals for the year?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
at that last one. Yeah.
Yeah. So all those goals, man, we got to hit them this year and just keep proving ourselves right, and then
Yeah.
keep climbing up the ladder.
Yeah, and I think that kind of reflection, constant reflection, because it's one thing to anytime you write down goals, it's powerful. Like, just start there, like, just write it down. A lot of people have never even done that, right? Or not since they were kids and it was an assignment in class.
Yeah.
And what's funny about even those assignments is they look back, I bet some of those probably came true.
Yeah.
Or unless they really derailed. But if you just start writing down stuff, once a month, and then or once a week, right?
Yeah.
Checking in with where you're at, what did you accomplish? What do you want to accomplish going into the week? And then checking back in at the end of the week, you know, what did you accomplish? What are you proud of? What could you have done better? You know, and then I've taken it a step further. I think I've told you this. Charles Poliquin, watching his interviews, binging, and finding out what he was journaling. Rest in peace. But what he was journaling was, you know, the start of every day. What are you proud of? And that's something that you're basically manifesting as if you already did it, but it's something you want to do. So if I had, you know, a sales call that day with an ideal client, I really wanted to sign him up, I would say, like, super proud of, you know, having a great conversation and getting a new great client, you know, signing him up today. It's not something I've done yet, but it's something I'm manifesting right there. And then the last thing that you put in for the morning is 3 things you're thankful for. Attitude of gratitude is unbeaten. You know, if you can be grateful for stuff, it's going to immediately boost your mood, which is going to improve every aspect of your life. And Charles Poliquin said, show me someone's morning routine and I'll show you what kind of day they're going to have. So to start your day like that and just professing gratitude for things that are specific to that day. So, you know, every day we could say, I'm glad my mom and dad are, you know, here, you know, alive, or you know, I'm glad for the support I have in my spouse. So you could say that every day. So you want to be specific so that you're not being mundane. But yeah, setting intentions is massive. If you're not
100%.
doing that, it'll change your life if you start, right?
Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, your intention is where your attention goes, and that's the most powerful force we have when it's focused. Yeah, I think that's beautiful, dude. So can you recap for us, like, morning and then night, what is the Charles Poliquin journaling routine that you've been following? Because you've mentioned that it's had a great impact on your last few months, right?
Yeah, it's really changed my life.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even an overstatement. Like, it's totally changed my life over the last 2 months. So the morning routine, to reiterate, is you start off by answering the question, what are you proud of accomplishing this day? And you say it as if you already did it. I am proud of, you know, going and crushing my leg workout today, and making gains towards my, you know, gaining muscle goal, whatever specific goal that is. Or, you know, if you have a presentation, I am proud of absolutely crushing my presentation today and getting the sale. You know, whatever the specific goal you really have to crush it on the day. Okay, and the second thing that you're going to answer is 3 things you're grateful for, and they want to be specific to that morning. So, you know, sometimes I'm super sore from a rugby game, and I'm kind of dealing with something. And so if I'm doing rehab that day before, obviously that when I wake up, I'm hoping that I'm feeling a little bit better. So at least that's something I've been dealing with now. So waking up this morning, I probably wrote, you know, I'm glad my hip feels significantly better this morning. You know, that's specific to the morning. Or it could be, you know, I'm glad that I went to bed an hour earlier because I got up, you know, I got an extra hour of sleep this morning. Things like that. So that's your morning routine. And then your evening routine, which I'll be honest, I usually do the following morning. I just don't, you know, but at least like I'm staying, you know, aware and putting it in. But in the evening, you want to put 3 fantastic things that happened that day. So acknowledging what you did accomplish. Even on the shittiest days, you can squeeze out some bit of, again, gratitude for something that went well. And if you had a great day, then it's just honestly fun to just write that down. Be like, wow, today was freaking awesome. I got this, I got that. Okay. And then the next thing you're gonna write is more of a critique. It's actually 3 things that could have gone better. And I hate to say, but those 3 things are the same. They're very repeated in my life, unfortunately. But hey, like if I wasn't writing that stuff down, I'd probably be even more off track to actually accomplishing them. So, you know, you want to write down 3 things that you wish you could have done better that day, specifically. You know, you don't want to be too vague with this stuff. And then your last thing is 1 thing you learned. And this is another big one. It's crazy how many days you can go, hey, that's the Russian guy.
There he is.
There he is.
Amazing.
He lives. So what was I saying? So 1 thing you learned that day is so rare for me to even have to write down, which is really sad. I've been lucky that the last 3 days, I think, in a row, which is actually pretty monumental, I've been able to write something down.
Yeah.
But unless I'm actively putting in some time for the day to study something, so for like a few weeks, I was just like nearly every day, watching some bit of an interview with Charles Poliquin. So you can't watch 1 minute of Charles Poliquin without learning 5
something.
things.
Yeah, 100%.
You better have your notebook ready to rock and know how to like rewind, by every 5 seconds, because you're gonna need to. But other than that, it's like you go, oh my God, I didn't learn anything today. That's crazy, right? Like, what did I even accomplish today? If I didn't learn, like, I'm just gonna be the same guy I was yesterday.
Right.
That's kind of a shitty feeling. So like that again, it brings you awareness to you. So like, yeah, that's it. That's the journal, and it's totally changed my life over the last 2 months. I have hit my best months monetarily. I'm the most confident I've ever been in my business. That reflects in every part of my life. It improves my relationship with In-Young, my girlfriend. Yeah, I can't say enough about it,
That's the power, dude. That's amazing. Yeah. Happy for you. That's the power of like bringing things into reality, right? It can start with literally just a pen or pencil. You're literally writing your thoughts and bringing them into the physical world through your hand, right? So you're creating things.
Yeah.
And if you start it first on paper, that's why it's so powerful to like write things with like pen and paper as opposed to just on a laptop, right?
And and actually part of that, I just learned this recently, is your would it be like your neurons aren't firing when you write things down on like your neurotransmitters and how that builds like. Oh God, I'm not sounding very smart because I'm not able to. I don't know like the technical terms for it, but like you don't build the same neuro pathways from typing stuff on your phone or on the computer as you would from writing.
Right.
I don't know really why. But it's science. It's true. So
well, I think we've had so many years of writing things by hand that our bodies kind of evolved to find that gratifying. Like if you think about why all these things from nature are so much beneficial for us, like natural things, is because we've had it forever. Right. And now that we are separated from nature and like from all the wild forces out there, from the sun, we're separated from sitting down. Like we're always sitting down, like in an unnatural manner.
Right.
It kind of makes us, makes our body not thrive as much as it used to, just because like it's so different from what we evolved doing, grew up to.
If it could evolve and faster and keep up with our modern lifestyle, man, we would just be in such great shape.
It'd be so convenient. No, but I really like this Charles Poliquin journaling routine. I do a journaling routine as well. I do Tim Ferriss's. Right? Okay. So like 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that you could have done better. So it's actually very similar to his.
So is there a morning and an evening?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've also been, I do a lot of like meditating, journaling, writing. But what I really like about this one is like, what are you proud of today? And then like manifesting that it's going to happen, So that's a really great way to practice manifestation in itself. And Charles was very esoteric himself, like studying a lot of the stuff he does, and then for me, studying a lot of the spiritual things that I study, we've talked like about the, like reading the Hermetic text and a lot of the things Rosicrucians study and things like that. It's like I see the parallels. Like a lot of his teachings were from that. So it's really cool.
Talk to me more about that, because I actually don't really recall.
We're gonna get into that on the first episode here. Let's do that whenever we're at the house instead of like ATG HQ.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No. It's just
stay tuned for that, guys.
We'll get into an episode on that. I'm sure.
It's so heavy. This HQ is not ready.
Well, I just don't want anybody to like associate HQ with like the, Ruben's esoteric studies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I don't even know.
That gets into some controversial stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but we've talked about a lot of that.
Controversial's good.
Yeah, controversial's it's good.
It's good for viewers.
I forgot what we were going to talk about though. So
journaling, morning routine. You Poliquin obviously connected to Voldemort. Can't speak about it. Yeah, I was gonna say something too, actually, about that, but
So the power of journaling, that's definitely something I try to like get my clients to do. Have you had any success implementing that with clients?
so that's big, right? Is
Yeah.
like I make a joke in here a lot, especially when I first got here, about, well, since I just learned it today,
Yeah.
I'm now an expert about it. So I'll make a video. I'll make a video.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way most of us works, right? It's
Of
like
course.
when you get a little bit ahead of someone in certain topics, you're actually the best off in teaching it because you're learning just a little bit ahead of them, so they'll actually be able to take more from you. Whereas like somebody who's a complete expert
Right.
is like using all these terms that somebody that's new to something wouldn't understand.
Might
right?
skip some
You probably feel the same way about surfing, right? Like you're not Kelly Slater,
Right.
but you know enough to like really
great
teach
analogy.
somebody, and you remember what it's like to be a beginner. So
100%. Yeah. And yeah, that's actually something I say really often about the surfing stuff is that me and Inyoung were like often like the worst surfers at these surf camps that we would work for where,
Yeah.
you know, you're loaded with instructors that have been surfing forever. But we were the best instructors for that
Yeah.
exact reason. We could relate to the person just beginning on their first day because I was like, I was in my 20s when I started.
Right.
You know, I was an adult just
Yeah.
like you. Whereas
Right.
these kids were like 6 years old. They can't relate.
Right.
It's kind of like me with Inyoung. I get kind of frustrated with her just learning a ball sport
Right.
because I don't have as much patience and understanding of how you can be so unfamiliar with ball handling,
Yeah.
you know, in field sports because I've been doing that since I was 2.
Right. Makes sense.
But what were we talking about that brought that up with the with teaching people new things?
Right. In
that you just
journaling,
learned?
like for
Yeah.
me, like I teach a lot of my clients in person, and a few of the people I worked with online is like breath work. You know, I've only been doing it 4 years, but I'm confident in teaching it.
Dude, 4
And-
years. Yeah, you're a freaking expert. That's a degree.
No.
It's a 4-year degree.
Yeah, I
You got
mean,
a
I do it
bachelor's
every
in
day
breathing.
for 4 years. That's fair. Yeah, and I've gotten pretty good at it and like helping people
You're
learn
good
it.
to go.
Yeah, and I mean, I've only been doing ATG 4 years, but you know, like the more reps you
years
get,
more than me.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good to go, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can teach me breath work right now.
Yeah, I feel very confident. I don't know if the mics would appreciate it. It's like ASMR, like
Are these antimicrobial?
that would be funny. No, definitely not. Yeah, but
Ingrained in there.
But no,
forever.
like applying journaling to clients, I think is very powerful.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's you know, I sometimes think about like how would I help a 40-year-old man apply journaling into their life? You know, like somebody who's a dad. And I would want to, but it's like, how much do I want to go? Like, this is a question from coach to coach. Is like, how much do I want to go into like lifestyle coaching more than fitness? Because I do want to apply those things, but it's like, how do you approach somebody? And would you just be looking for people that are open to applying things like that? You know?
What was the last part of that question?
Yeah. Would you just want to look for people that are interested in learning things like that? You know, like lifestyle coaching as well.
So I think that has a lot to do with like niching down and being ultimately picky with who your clients are. I seem to try to vet my potential next client on the sales call. So like when I have somebody on a call that's interested, they might DM me, whatever, and we get on a call and I have a list of questions and the questions go very deep. And you could skim through them very shallowly, but I do not let them. I say,
Yeah.
if they say like, what's your goal? I want to, you know, be healthy and so I can go play professional rugby. Okay, why is being healthy important to you? Oh, well, because, you know, then I can't do what I love. I can't go play professional rugby. Okay. Like, why do you love rugby and why do you want to be a professional rugby player? Why is that important to you? Yeah. Oh, well, you know, like, it's basically like, it's my only true love in life. Like, it's kind of my identity. You know, I'm not playing. When I'm not healthy, I can't play. When I can't play, I'm just not happy. Oh, so like, your goal is to be happy. That's a lot deeper, and so what's it like when you're not happy? And like, let's go to those dark places. Like, oh yeah, I was fucking depressed. Like, oh yeah, how did that affect you have other things in your life you want to accomplish, like with your job, you got a relationship. Oh yeah, I got a girlfriend. Yeah, how did that affect your relationship with your girlfriend when you weren't happy? Oh yeah, it wasn't good, man. It was rocky. Yeah. Oh yeah, how did it affect your ability to go get those jobs that you want, or your schoolwork? Yeah, no, my school went down. I had a guy tell me recently, yeah, when I get injured playing rugby, I call it my 0 dark 30. I just go off the map for everything. Like I just basically shut out everything, and everything goes down the drain.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so we're not talking about you needing help just with you to play a game.
Right.
We're talking about you needing help so that you can actually accomplish anything in your life. This is absolutely vital for you.
Yeah.
So before we get that deep, I won't even move on to the other stuff. So, and I think that, if people aren't willing to realize that that's how bad that they need this stuff, then they're never going to be able to realize the importance of whatever you tell them, which could very well be mindset coaching and daily journaling and holistic, maybe hippy dippy woo-woo stuff like that, woo-woo stuff. So, and because that is the way some people think about it, like, what, like, have a diary, you know what I mean? Dear diary. You need a journal. It's like, people are like, what, dude? Come on, just give me my workout routine. It's like, there's a reason why you need me to give you your workout routine, because you've never followed a workout routine to begin with. A lot of people give you a workout routine. The difference between this one and the next one is, how you approach it. And that's all mental. And like we're talking about, we're so much more productive when we journal, because it's such a mental exercise that does come out to the physical world. Yeah, exactly. So I kind of just set the precedent early that so much is riding on this, so that they take this much more seriously, so that when I tell them, and I have them every week, I have them fill out a checklist of very simple questions. It takes them no more than a minute, but they're questions like, how much stress did you have this week on average? How much sleep did you get? How much energy did you have? And if they say like, yeah, I had a lot of stress doing this, yeah, I had a lower energy, yeah, and then they didn't get maybe all their workouts done and they slacked off here and there, then I will say, okay, you've been stressed for, back-to-back weeks. And, at first, if they're also drinking, I'll say, hey, cut out the alcohol, try to get better sleep. And if they do that and they're still stressed, you lead me with no choice. I always have to keep giving you opportunities and answers, right? So if we've cut out everything that could possibly be screwing you up, and you're still stressed out and still need like a boost of energy, then like, yeah, that's when journaling 100% becomes warranted. And at that point, what can they say? We've exhausted all of other resources. And that's basically the point that I've gotten from journaling. I've cut significantly out, drugs or alcohol.
Yeah, same.
My sleep is much more on point. I'm doing everything right, yet I'm still not where I want to be all the time. Journaling, boom, brought me through. And now, like you said, you've done stuff for 4 years. I think that's like, you have literally a fucking doctorate as far as I'm concerned. But for me, I've done it for 2 months and I've seen massive results. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, bro, I've sold things with less time under my belt. So like, I'm telling you right now, you need to start doing this. Yeah. And they can either take it or leave it, but the results will show. So. Yeah, 100%. Does that make sense? No, absolutely makes sense. And I like the weekly checklist because it's almost like a diary. It's not, like a journal for them to like realize. Diary. Oh, dirty word. No, but like it's almost like a journal for them even to just kind of follow their trends, follow their habits. And like small habits are what makes the biggest difference. Like that was actually one of the things that made the biggest difference for me was the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and just talking about how all these little things stack up in the end. Like if you're 0.1% better like every day, if you start implementing little habits now and then, And honestly, like I haven't been the best with my journaling, so I think I'll definitely go back to that. I need to. I also want to get more
I want to do more journaling for my workouts. You know, like track every single workout and like, okay, I need to do more on this one, more next week. You know, a little bit more next week. And I think that's something I want to implement with clients too. It's like get a, because I keep track of like my PRs and stuff like that, but I don't write down every single thing. And I feel like if I did, I would definitely get more out of it. Just like with everything else, you know, like the more what gets measured gets managed. So like if you are able to keep track of it, you're keeping your mind, your attention on it, your focus, you concentrate that more, it's only gonna have positive effects. I just ordered a journal to start tracking, and I want to see if I can create one or just send each one of my clients one, you know, when they sign up. Like, hey, go ahead and send them some gifts, maybe a few beginning equipment type things, you know. I'm just now starting my online offer, and I think in the middle of doing this podcast, I'm realizing like, hey, maybe I can interview coaches that are successful right now and maybe take some things from them, or just people that I find really entertaining, people I look up to. Because like you've been an online coach for like a year or two now, right? Yeah. So like, if anybody is, if I'm going to learn anything from anybody, I think you're someone that has a great potential to help me with this as well, right? Because you're ahead of me in that category, and you can relate more to somebody who's just getting started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The same way we were talking about it earlier with surfing, with breath work, with, you know, strength training, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it would be cool because I mean that's kind of like what successful podcasts like Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, they just have people on to learn from them and
Right.
like genuinely ask interesting questions because they want to know more about it. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's for everyone else, right? Because Joe will say, like, who do you want me to, I don't know actually what he does, but it kind of seems like he's like, who should I have on next? Or he just sees, like, people are just giving their opinions. And
Yeah.
he's like, shit, I get a lot of people asking for this guy. And then
Yeah.
you might not have even heard of him, but he goes, looks him up. Like Ben Patrick, he probably never heard of him before everyone was like, yo, bring him on. And then he was like, oh yeah, this guy's got some good stuff. And all right, I'm going
Yeah.
to start implementing this. Yeah, I've been doing that for a while. All right, yeah, let me have him on, you know? So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, no, it'd be great I would love to watch this podcast in the coming episodes, see who you have on, because, you know, if you could get like Justin on, you know, talk about his stuff.
Dude, Moochie, we got to have you on, bro.
Shout out, bro. Yeah,
Gotta come on, Moochie.
We want to hear.
No, honestly, I think we should all do more collaborations with each other and really get to know each other that way, you know, because like Moochie was here for like 2 weeks, kind of staying at the house and stuff like that, and I never really got around to talking with him. I was so busy working. But if you actually sit down with somebody for an hour or 2 hours and just have a conversation, you really get to know them a lot better than just in passing, you know, or like even just training together. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, man. Yeah, and it's crazy. I think it's gotten to a point now, like, where I feel like I have more opportunity to actually make a business out of teaching how to do this. Like,
Coaching?
Coaching. Like, I have my own clients. I have guys that, you know, are teaching me stuff about rugby. Maybe they're like a rugby coach, or I have teammates that, you know, naturally they're athletes. They love to train, and so they think about, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Well, what do I love to do? Train. Go be a trainer. But then they see what I'm doing, like, okay, like that's ideal, right? Online rugby trainer, like, so they're asking me, like, man, I want to do what you do. How do you do it? And it's like, I've hired one, and if you want to count Ben, I say 2 mentors to teach me, you know, skills and ways to build up an online program. And that's what I would say to anybody is, like, you just need to go get mentors. But I'll tell you, the first guy was a client of mine that asked me, like, he basically, like, I want to be you. I want to do what you do for a living. How do I do that? And I was like, well, for starters, you got to be the product. And that's what one of the things that makes ATG great is that it makes us be a product before we ever,
100%.
we're our first testimonial. That's good for us. That's good for the customer. It's good for the business. And so I say, you know, go do that. You know, and him being on my program, he's gained 15 pounds of muscle, has become much faster, has overcome a knee injury. So he's at the height of he's accomplished every goal that he's had coming into my program. So that's great. And obviously he did the hard work, and he saw, for the most part, like, what I did to get him there. Yeah. So I think he could definitely give lots of awesome advice and get the same results for somebody else. So that's huge right there. That being said, I did that for myself at his age, with no help other than like a bunch of meatheads in the gym, kind of just like throwing weights around. And I gained 40 pounds of muscle in a couple of years. And, but I still didn't know a lot about the actual body. I was just following along. I knew exercises, but I didn't know why, And so I think that anybody that's going to go be a trainer should, even if you've gotten the results for yourself, you should go get some sort of certification that will give you a deeper understanding of the human anatomy, exercise science, kinesiology, so that you can piece together what you know and why it works, right?
Yeah.
And then you can take a cert like ATG that kind of goes deeper. I'm sure there's other certs too.
Into specializations.
And then you'll be able to understand their language, and you'll understand why it's not bullshit. Because that makes total sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I think that, and then with that, you can obviously take mentorships in the business side too. Like, learn your craft though first. Be a real product before you try to go sell stuff to people. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get into a shitty situation otherwise.
Couldn't agree more, man. Yeah, if you need another guinea pig to teach people the online training stuff, I'll be your guinea pig if you want.
Word.
Yeah. No, because I could use it. Like, I took on a social media mentorship before. I overpaid on it. Didn't get much out of it. It was really good. I just didn't get to use it as much because I was working 40 hours a week hanging billboards and personal training on the side, like another 20, 30 hours. So I was working all the time.
Yeah.
And I just didn't connect as much as I should have. So I would really appreciate that. And then in return, I can help you out with mobility because that's my specialty, and breath work if you're interested in that.
Word.
But
yeah.
I think it's good to level each other up, especially in this community with all that's coming.
Yep.
And we're going to be doing a lot more collaborations from the sounds of it and just building that up even more, which I think is only more powerful, right?
Definitely.
So you mentioned you gained 40 pounds. How long did it take you to do that of muscle?
So I want to say it took only 2-3 years to do that because I went in at college. I was a skinny kid. And I'd actually been working out, and I was still 6 foot 155.
Yeah.
Freshman year of college, 18 years old, 6 foot 155.
Right.
Pretty skinny guy, but I had already been kind of throwing around really sloppily weights for the last 2 years. Junior and senior year of high school, I would skip class and hit the local gym. That's how badly I wanted it. And so when I got to school, there's a lot of guys there from all over the place, and some of the guys were pretty jacked already. Maybe they played high school football, so they knew what they were doing. And we all just wanted to hit the gym, obviously look good.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go. And they definitely, taught me how to, create periodization, and just follow the classic hypertrophy, pyramid, reverse pyramid sort of programs. And man, I just did that, and I was on a meal plan for school, so it was an unlimited meal plan. I was lucky with that, so I would go to the cafeteria and just gorge.
Wow.
And so I was probably hitting 3,000 calories, and then lifting at least 4 times a week, 2 upper, 2 lower. And so, I gained freshman 15 in muscle, so I was 170 by the end of my freshman year, and then I was 180 by the end of my sophomore year, so that's 25 pounds. And then I was 190, and I got up to 195 so that was 35 pounds, not quite 40.
Yeah.
35 pounds within 2-3 years. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mostly muscle for sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was all muscle because I stayed lean. I have a very fast metabolism, which was kind of it's more of a blessing than a curse, but I was definitely super made fun of as a kid. I was literally afraid to take my shirt off at the pool because I was so skinny.
Yeah.
I would immediately take my shirt off at the pool, and people would be like, oh, look at Skeletor. God, you look like you just eat something, dude. You look like you're at a concentration camp. Look, he's disappearing in front of us.
That's,
dude,
I can imagine, dude. I had the opposite because I was fat.
Right.
But we can talk about that later. But that's yeah, that's interesting to hear the other side.
The other side didn't exist. I lived it. I won't have anyone tell me different. It was straight up like that for a long time, and it sucked. But at the same time, I think I even knew early on, like, if I can just get jacked, this is going to be really lean muscle. Like, I'd see, like, the pictures of, like, jack guys that just were shredded out of their mind, too. And I was like, that's going to be me if I just put the muscle on.
Heck yeah. Starts in the mind first.
That's pretty much what happened.
You were thinking it already.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you probably, did you write it down?
Maybe. I definitely wrote down I want to be a professional athlete. I was always, and I'm still going for that at almost 32.
Dude, you can get it. You're looking faster and faster every time. Yeah.
I just got I just signed basically to play for the season with as far close as professional rugby as you can possibly get in America without being professional, because every one of my teammates is a paid professional, and it's the new developmental program for the national team for USA Rugby.
Let's go.
They're defending national champs at the highest level of club rugby 2 times running, so they're going for a 3-peat, and I'm part of the squad. So I'm heading up there for a residency, basically in 2 weeks. It's the biggest opportunity of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm planning on absolutely capturing every ounce of it. So,
dude, you got to decapitate.
Yeah.
Let's go. When is that? When is that?
So I fly up. I fly up in 2 weeks on like a Saturday, and I'll stay through all the way to the next Saturday where we play.
Yeah.
So I'll be in their training camp the whole week, and then we'll go to Baltimore for our first national qualifier tournament. We got to hit, like, we're in a Mid-Atlantic conference, so we got to hit 3 or 4 different qualifying tournaments, and if you win more than you lose, if you're the best out of any team, like, we'll probably win a couple of tournaments, maybe we'll get second or third in a couple others, who knows, but as long as we're the best, we'll go to nationals, which will be in Wisconsin. I've never been to nationals in sevens. In Young, my girlfriend just won a national championship.
Yeah,
first
shout out
ever
to
season.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Shout out to Tampa crew, the women's, by far best D2 women's team in the country. So yeah, I can't have her, outdo me for too long. So hopefully this is where the days are numbered right now. So we'll get the natty. Yeah, no, it's a big opportunity, man. So yeah, that's the goal. That is the goal.
What are some things that you think were pivotal in you building muscle? 40 pounds of muscle, getting more athletic, not just gaining muscle as a bulk. You know what I mean?
So you got to play your sport. So a lot of coaches will say that, like, we focus so much on sport specific, and people take that to a very crazy level. Like they will, they will try to think about, like, what is the most, like, they'll think of like a movement they do in their sport, and they'll just try to do that exact movement, but with a cable or with a weight,
medicine ball.
A medicine ball, right? And it's like, I'm not going to say that stuff doesn't translate. Like, I'll tell you firsthand, I'm sure you've experienced this, like jiu-jitsu. If you do a Turkish get-up and get good at that, you're going to start Turkish get-upping people off of you in side control, right? And
it's awesome.
You know what I mean? But, so there's definitely a place for that. But for me in college, I was getting better playing rugby because I was playing rugby.
Yeah.
But I was also getting bigger because I was lifting weights and eating food. So I think as long as you're, proportional to how much, I think a lot of guys that just get really big, they're not playing their sport.
Yeah.
And then they go play their sport after they get big, and they have a whole different body that hasn't kept up. And so that's where people, like, that stigma might actually stem from. And so I would say, if you want to get big in college, find a way where you can get, 3,000 calories a day, which is not that hard. If you can get a meal plan, amazing. And I would say, even if you can get a meal plan or you have limited meals for the day, then bring some Tupperware with you. That was my hack. And put it in your backpack and fucking stack up a whole nother meal, before you leave, so that you get 2 for the price of 1 every time. And, if you're trying to gain weight, carbs are your friend. Try to eat cleaner, non-refined, rice, pasta, bread is fine. Like, you're trying to get big. But obviously prioritize protein. That's what's going to build real lean mass and going to help you recover from those workouts and allow you to produce more workload. And, but don't sacrifice your internal health and your mental health. Like, again, like, don't eat the shittiest stuff just because it's going to help you
Yeah.
put on calories, hit your calorie goal. Like,
Yeah, you're not gonna build athletic body on Popeyes. I mean, some people do. It depends if you have the genetics,
Say.
but you're much less likely to build superior genetics on junk food. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, even if all your stats are going up, it just goes to show how low your stats actually were. Because
That's fair.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like if you weren't lifting and you weren't getting any faster other than your natural ability, you weren't getting any stronger, and you weren't putting on size, and all of a sudden you start lifting, you'll do all three of those things, and you're eating Popeyes, you're doing all three of those things, and you're eating junk food to get there. That's great. You've made improvements, but if you got there cleaner, you'd make even more improvements.
Yeah.
And it might be mental improvements, which will help your performance, no doubt, in a sport
Yeah.
and in schoolwork. And because it's like I talk about with my athletes, like, what are your other goals, right? Because if one holds you back, that's something with me. Like, when I started playing rugby, I immediately realized that I was born to play this sport. You know, I was like, this is totally what I'm supposed to do. I could go pro
Yeah.
doing this. And I immediately was like, I need to leave my small college. I need to
Yeah.
go to a real college to play
Oh, that's how
this.
you felt. You already knew.
Knew
Yeah.
immediately. And but I was such a shithead in school, you know. All I did was play sports and lift weights and eat and party.
Right.
And all the partying, all the drinking, all the smoking, all the eating the bullshit food too. That was definitely like kind of rotting my brain and
Yeah.
just making me like kind of lazy
Yeah,
in a lot of
100%.
ways.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wasn't able to have the opportunities at that point to go to other schools. You know,
Yeah.
I had to stay at my kind of dumb school and just keep on living the life I was living, and that definitely hurt my opportunities to get further faster.
Yeah.
So, that would be my advice to the next athlete.
Oh man, I can greatly attest to the non-athletic side of that and how junk food completely affects your mental health in every single way. And I mean, not just junk food, but also the toxins you put into your body, whether that's alcohol, THC, just not taking care, not giving your body the nutrients it needs, and then giving it all these things that it actually needs more energy to like detox and get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely mental fog, brain fog, not having the energy to like go to workouts, like all these things hugely affect it. And a lot of it, of course, is mental, because once you start realizing you need to prioritize the fuel, then it's just about making those changes. You know, like you said, bringing Tupperware to places where you can get bioavailable protein as opposed to going to the 2 for $6 at Burger King makes a big difference.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you got to be sharp to think of those things, to get creative and to find solutions.
Right.
Yeah, to make time instead of making excuses, because making excuses is easy.
And it's not even you have to be sharp to make those decisions. It's like you have to be clear enough to actually listen to people that have the results that you want.
Right.
You know, because a lot of it was me, like everybody was telling me, oh, you got to work out and do this, and you got to sleep better. And I'm like, I heard those people, but I never listened, until it was like, you eventually hit rock bottom, and it's like, all right, I got to start switching something up, And the first person I thought of,
'Cause you're not motivated. When you're eating all that shit, it just lowers your motivation.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You probably knew, like, I know you're right. Like, that's the
Yeah.
truth. I don't doubt it, but like, I just can't bring myself to do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. My grandma was the first person I thought of because she lived a healthy life until she was like 89 or so. And one of the things that she always did very well was cook for herself. Like not going out to eat, not spending money on these foods that weren't nutrient dense. And she actually taught me how to cook. And then that was like the first thing I started doing was just cooking for myself. Everything kind of started going from there. But yeah, so.
Controlling the ingredients too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Controlling the ingredients.
Even like you can go to like Publix.
Right.
There's rotisserie chickens. $7. Get a full rotisserie chicken. It's not fried. It's what is it? It's baked. Rotisserie.
Yeah.
It's rotisserie.
Rotisserie means it's over open flame.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like seems healthy. Seems like a caveman would eat that chicken, right? Like back in the day, like over a fire.
Okay.
Right? That's an old Poliquin quote. Like, would a caveman eat it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could a caveman eat it? That's
Right.
that's how you live your diet. The quickest, easiest diet formula is like, could a caveman eat it?
Yeah,
If
that's a
not,
good
don't
one.
eat it, right?
Yeah.
But so you would think that's great. That's a great choice, right? Well, if you look at the ingredients on it, they've added all this shit into it actually. And I'm
Yeah.
like, Why?
It's like bathed in soybean oil. It's GMO. It's got lots of like I don't know, man. It's like got lots of plastics in it because it's been there for like hours, and it's just baking in this plastic wrapping that leaches phthalates into it,
God, dude,
disrupts your
yeah.
hormones. And I mean, honestly, even that's better than getting junk food, you know?
Yeah, no,
Because-
for sure. And I still get them from time to time.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
definitely made me aware. And like I'm just saying to your point, like you can make a rotisserie chicken at home, and it's gonna be way better than the one you get at Publix.
Yeah, you control the ingredients.
So much control.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get it for you can get like a organic pasture-raised chicken for about the same price that you would get a big one. Well, actually, never mind. Because the Publix one's like $5.
Yeah, it depends where you
that's
get
the
it.
incentive, yeah. All right, man. Yeah, so what do you think is the biggest parallel? Because I know you coach surfing clients as well as rugby players. You're obviously more passionate about rugby because it's like your passionate thing. But what do you think is the crossover as far as things that they have in common that they need to be doing? You know, like what are the weak links in common between surfers and rugby players?
Well, I've never trained surfers online, so
Yeah.
it's very different, I want to say. But I mean, maybe the obvious one would be just the motivating people. Like, but again, it's different because when I'm teaching surfing, I am, the motivation when I first think of it is just I send them into a wave, and I start yelling at them to stand up.
Yeah.
Do it! Like I'm a drill sergeant. Like, get up! You can do it! And I'm definitely like way more drill sergeant mode when I'm out there in the water. And you have to be because the environment, you're in nature, it's loud, yet it's hectic, you have to be. And these people are terrified a lot of times.
Yeah.
They're really scared of the ocean.
Almost a completely different person when it comes to the mindset.
Yeah. And that's why I love, and sometimes that's fun. It's extremely rewarding. It's not something I wanted to do every day for a living.
Right.
For so many reasons. But so I definitely enjoy like the more chill online training. But and I think because I've vetted so well recently with a lot of my clients that I don't have to ever really get too crazy on a call with anybody anymore. I used to, when I just used to train anybody, I used to have to really have these hard conversations with people and be like try to motivate them, kind of be that drill sergeant on the phone. And that might work for some people, and even for those some people, it might just work for that call, and then they just go on about their life because they haven't really been peeled back like I do now with the sales call and stuff, and kind of get their mind right. Because I've had people who say like, they'll be like, yeah, you know what, man, I actually realized I don't want this bad enough from your call. I'm like, great, like don't even waste our time.
Yeah.
So I would say, that's the biggest difference, is like how much I have to motivate people in the ocean to just like get over their fears of the ocean, get up the fears of speed and standing up in sharks and all this stuff. Whereas like online, it's more just having to kick it really real, because you do get way deeper with people online, because you're really peering into their life on a deeper level. Like I'm gonna see how much you drink, I'm gonna see how much you smoke, I'm gonna see what you eat, I'm gonna see basically what a piece of shit you might be. You know what I mean? not like you're a bad person, but like I say that like you're just living like a couch potato, right? And then I'll kick it to him like, you need to cut that shit out. And I had a less than ideal client actually, and I don't know if he's ever gonna really like jump back on it. He's kind of fallen off, and he's not a rugby player. Those guys are still lingering. There's one or two of them, but they've kind of doing it off. And he asked me, I told him, you need to cut out smoking. You're smoking cigarettes. You got to cut that out. And he's like, and I said, that'll kill your gains. You know what I mean? That's gonna. And he's like, really? How so? The fact that you would even question that is crazy. But I told him exactly why, and I sent him actual
studies,
multiple studies on it. And he goes, oh, interesting. I'll check this out when I have time. I haven't heard from him since.
Jeez, man.
So, you got to have those kind of crazy conversations. I'm not asking somebody on a surf lesson, like, how much do you drink? How much do you smoke? They're on
Right.
vacation, so probably
Yeah,
a whole
yeah,
lot,
yeah. That makes
unless they're
sense.
just the kids, which it usually is.
It's a big difference, yeah.
But I do ask sometimes the kids about their diet, and a lot of time, like, hey, what'd you have for breakfast? And they'll be like, I had donuts. And I'm like, all right, we'll see how that works out for you today. And so I've actually, sometimes I'll tell the parents, like, hey, try to have them, make sure they've eaten before this surf sesh. Like, I would recommend it. I'll give them, like, protein, like, blah, 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 like, make sure you have plenty of water, because
That's pretty good.
a lot of parenting is, like, really not on point in America.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably the main difference.
Yeah.
Surfing to rugby.
I just realized we had this reggae on the whole time in the
It's
background.
vibey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
true.
awesome.
Yeah, I probably
like
even
it.
have music on.
Yeah. Well, tell you what, man, I think coaching and just being of service is going to be in my opinion, I mean, I'm looking into the future, right? Like with AI and all the things that are coming to Bri, everything's going to be automated. I think our profession is actually one of the best ones we can be in, right? Being of service, art, culture, things like that are just like, it's like one-to-one person is going to be pretty much the only things that are left. I mean, in my opinion, like entertainment,
Yeah, I totally
looking
agree.
within, yoga, sports. Those are the things that are going to be like the jobs of the future, because we all got to have purpose. And if everything's automated, people are going to be seeking for more purpose. So the conversation that we were having the other day about the sauna and the cold plunge, right? It's like where I see things going in the future is more of that one-to-one person, so like we're actually going to do, in my opinion, I know I'm going to do well regardless of what happens, like you have to keep that,
Amen.
Like, you have to keep that in mind.
Love that.
Have faith in God, but I think that it is going to be prime for that, and I'm excited about the perspective of that and helping people, but it can also go the other way, and it's almost like we're battling that other way, which is caging yourself in and sitting down. And can you turn that out a little bit? you got
That's
Vicente.
hilarious. Yo,
You got
get back to the
Vicente.
reggae.
You got Vicente in the background. Just turn it down a little bit.
Okay.
And you got Vicente in the background. So, where's it going with that? Oh yeah, so like there could be a whole other side of people where they, shut themselves in and start drinking and just playing video games and like getting into all these things, as opposed to getting back into community, into things that keep you active. And I wouldn't say we're fighting that, because like honestly, like it should all be like teamwork. We should all embrace each other and address what we have in common versus our differences. But I think those are the two directions it's going to go. Like it's either going to go into more community, more like outdoor activities, more inner work, and being of service with each other, and then the other way it's going to go into more isolation, more video games, more drinking and vices and things like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of reminds me of like the way it seems like Instagram works, and it's like, it used to just be like, if you could put together the sickest highlight reel, and it was just like bam, 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 like
Showtime.
Showtime. Oh my God. Like they're just like, oh my God, endorphins, boom. Oh, that was amazing to watch. More of that, please. Subscribe, buy whatever you're selling. But then it became more about B-rolls, where you're just putting, it doesn't even matter. The dumbest thing, it doesn't even have to be entertaining. And in fact, the more basic it is, it could just be you just like doing that, sipping coffee in front of the camera. And more people will relate to that, because everybody sips coffee and runs kind of like basic life. But then it's the message that you just write on the screen. It's the easiest freaking thing. You don't have to do any editing, really. Just write a message that people can relate to. And it's like, I look forward to this moment, right? Sipping coffee in the morning, like before I even go to bed the night before. Like, why do I do that? Or something like that. And people are like, oh my God, that's me, And then they're gonna read your comment, your caption, and your caption. They're gonna buy whatever you're selling, and it's like. So then people went from like, oh, I need to be like so entertained, to like, oh, I just need to relate. You know what I mean? And that was short form. And now I'm hearing like
people don't want to see short form anymore. They actually want long form. They're tired of these short, and before it needed to be shorter and shorter and shorter. Now they're going the other way, and it's just kind of like the iPhone. The iPhone goes from like as small as they could possibly go without being too small, and then they start getting really big again. And it's like, oh, like it's bigger, it's better. But then if you make it smaller, it's like, oh, it's smaller, it's better. It's like whatever people aren't used to, they're gonna come back around to. And so it's just that's why even clothes like comes back around. Like Chucks became big again when I was a kid. But those were really first big in the '60s. I'm sure there's a period where they kind of fell out of style, maybe.
Yeah.
So I feel like people. It's like you said before in our bio makeup. It's in our genetics to thrive in sun,
nature.
to be in nature and to love that, to get really addicted to that, and to exercise and stuff like that. So there's always going to be, and then some people just have that more in their nature than others, right? Like they're just like they're freaking animals as soon in like to
Eat the bugs.
yeah, and just like stay inside. I don't know.
Well, that's what the 15-minute cities idea was going to be, and that's part of why people revolted so hard to even that idea. Everything. I feel like a lot of what's gone wrong has been baited by convenience. Like we stopped
Right.
washing our own clothes, and that's amazing. But then now we have detergent that gives us all these chemicals that we're putting on our skin, and that disrupts your hormones and makes you less likely to be able to reproduce.
God,
For
dude.
example, and like plastics
God.
are
I didn't think
cheap,
about that.
but yeah. Well, I'm just going down the rabbit hole, but plastics are cheap, but
Here it did. Flay it on us.
yeah, and they're really convenient. Like takeout boxes are really convenient, but if you put something hot on it, which we always do, it leaches those salads into your food, and then you eat it.
That
Like
orange
some
chicken
people
last
microwave
night
that.
was even worse than I thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think about it, and then you keep going on the rabbit hole. It's like convenience. Instead of going out to movie theaters, now we can just watch things at home, right? With the invention of the TV, and that's just
Netflix,
like all there now, right? It's like all at home. You don't even have to leave your house
Drive-throughs.
to be programmed. Yeah, and then even more, now the ads that you watch and like everything you fill out goes towards marketing and targeted ads. So now everything is conveniently right at your click, right? Like you open your phone, you're gonna see advertisement for plastic-free Tupperware because we've been talking about it. Right.
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah, so it's like it's more and more convenience, and we think that's such a great thing because it makes everything easier.
I will appreciate that plastic-free Tupperware when it pops up.
Oh, yeah, me
Plastic-free
too.
Tupperware, plastic-free Tupperware.
Yeah, exactly.
Best deal on the market, best deal on the market.
But there's always a trade-off, right? And a lot of that luring is why we are where we are today. And you kind of just have to be aware enough to realize that. And a lot of these things that are old timer becoming the trend again, right? Like, for example, like cotton clothes and
Yeah.
linen, because we're realizing like, oh, polyester is not that great for your hormones, not that great for your body. Probably shouldn't have it on all the time.
And I mean, I think we're aware of that too because shit is getting weird in these next generations. Like, you know what I mean? Like kids have no idea what gender they are. Autism's through the freaking roof. People can't have babies. Like, why is all of that going on? Why are the frogs gay? And it's like,
Atrazine, bro.
and it's because of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so when you say, yeah, this is why all that stuff's happening, you're like, oh, that would explain it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's motivating. It's like,
Right.
we can't go in this trajectory anymore. Stuff sucks. So like, all right, I'll buy the cotton underwear. And
Or just don't wear underwear.
yeah, but then you gotta have the cotton
You gotta,
shorts.
you gotta buy cotton shorts.
See, like
so
I
strong.
have cotton underwear right
Yeah.
now. I usually don't even wear it.
You wearing nads?
But because I saw this is only 60%, and I mean, it's probably a better deal to just buy cotton underwear.
Yeah. Well, there's you can't let perfect be the enemy of good, and we're all trying to do better. I think people are becoming more aware to it, and I'm on the side of the people that are trying to help people be more aware of it and curb their habits for it. I want my kids to be able to have kids. And
Right.
I,
Yeah. That's what we're up against. For real. That's what we're up against. It's like,
in a way,
Yeah?
yeah, because we don't realize what's going on. But there's a lot of people that are bringing it to light now. There's a lot of scientists that are doing this research, even though it's not,
published.
yeah, it doesn't get into the mainstream, but
Neither
it
was
does go
Poliquin
into the
stuff,
podcast. Oh, really? Yeah, that's true.
Poliquin
Yeah.
brought, who invented ATG, basically,
Well, Ben invented ATG,
mentored
but
the guys
mentored-
that created it. But he was the first guy doing
Yeah.
fish oils. He was the first guy doing BCAAs. He was the first guy doing eccentrics, right? Slow lifting to
Yeah.
get stronger.
I don't
and
know about the
faster.
first, because again, everything old becomes new again.
No,
but
of course, but he
very
was like
studied,
the
yeah.
guy that like anyone can say in the Western Hemisphere was like doing this with his athletes, and
Yeah.
everyone was like laughing at him, And he was already
Very
like
true.
like a successful guy doing
Yeah.
it, and everyone was like, that doesn't make any sense, blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
because he's getting results, and now that's just mainstream culture.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, because the studies came out and said, yeah, this actually is all true. But if he's like, if I had waited for the studies to come out and tell me this stuff works, I would have, it would have cost me like multiple Olympics
Yeah.
already.
Gold medals,
Yeah.
championships, 100%.
So, yeah, no, it's, thank God for social media if you use it right, because you can get really educated on this stuff from the people, like you said,
Yeah.
that are putting it out there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, man. So it's about an hour and a half. I think what I want to do with this podcast, like I said, is just interview people that I'm interested in getting. Oh, it's 555. That's great.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Better than 666. That's God's number, right?
No,
Hello, God. Are you there?
no, that's hilarious. We'll get into angel numbers another time. No, I think what I want to do with this podcast is just like interview more people that I want to learn from, and even just friends and like connecting. But when you're back, like we'll definitely do another one because when are you going to be back in August? Right?
Well, I'll be back. So I'm leaving for New York this coming weekend,
Yeah.
doing a tournament. Be back that whole week, training hard, getting my body right. Then going for a whole week, and then I think I'm gonna come back, and
Yeah.
at least, telling Young if I'm how quick I'm leaving again, and for how long. Because 3 weeks away from her is definitely, not something. It's something I'd like to avoid.
Yeah.
We really don't know. So I'll be back though at some point, like in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you'll be back for when Ben's here. And
Oh, really?
Ben, Patrick, and Clarkfield are going to be here.
Oh, really? When are they coming?
June 21st, I think, or 22nd.
June 21st.
Yeah. So like you'll be here that week. I'm pretty sure is what
Let
it
me
sounds
see.
like.
I really hope so.
But yeah, we'll do another one soon. But I want to try to get it like consistently once a week, just with different coaches that come and visit. I got to do one with Mick because he's really interesting. He's got a really nice deep voice.
Yes, he does.
Very delightful for podcasts.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, I
say
want
anything.
to start making just content for people. So I want to help people that were in my shoes, that are working desk jobs and like super tight, and it's affecting their health,
Yep.
because of it. I want to help people like my dad, like myself, like so many people I know who are just like constantly sitting down. It's just because they have to do it for their job, so it's not their faults, but help them reverse out the effects of that. Like I'm always constantly sitting myself, so I want to be, I don't want to like avoid sitting. Like right now we're sitting on this very nice device that keeps you from having to sit regularly.
I'm surprised I haven't been more uncomfortable.
I love this thing.
I just
honestly.
need a cushion on this.
What is
Just
this?
my bony ass is the only thing that's
Shout out to the hunkering stool. Very cool.
Very ergonomic.
Yeah, very ergonomic. I would definitely suggest this to some clients. But anyway, so like reversing out the effects of sitting, because we're always sitting down. Like from the time that we were in elementary school, we were sitting down in desks, middle school, high school, college, and then you go into your
Such a waste
office
of my
job
life.
and you're sitting there in your cubicle. Like I worked in a cubicle for like 3 or 4 years. So I want to help those people. And I want to coach more online clients, so that's my goal this year, is to start launching into that. Rift is doing amazing work for in-person, so I'm really excited to be a part of their team. But for I want to expand online because I want to create generational wealth for my family, and I want to eventually have a homestead with my homies, and have like self-sustainability where we have cows and we're growing crops and we got a little creek going around and we got like a village with kids and stuff roaming around. That's the grand vision, man. It's just like living in like a small town where we, all get along and commute and like do arts and stuff. That's not too far from the city because you still gotta, have a civilization and you don't want inbreds either. But anyways, where was I going with that? Yeah, that's like some of the grand vision, man. Like, what is ultimately your grand vision, and what do you want to do with your own podcast, with your own brand? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, I was just gonna say that's a very common vision for like people in my circle, for like, friends of mine from back home that I just went on this surf trip with. Like, we all want to do exactly what you said. Like the whole commune, like for like-mindedness and the cows and the whole thing. Like,
God brings people together for a reason, man. I feel like a lot of my friends are having the same thoughts. So it's like maybe we're all meant to be create that vision together or something like that. Like time will tell. Because we never even know where we're going to be living together or like anywhere near the same area. But if we do, and we're all powerful businessmen, online and in person, like I think that could be something amazing. We work it out.
Sky's the limit, dude. Yeah. I don't know if I think about it enough, but I definitely, I want to check off the box of being a professional athlete, because that's just been like the thing I wrote down the longest. And I've given up on that many times throughout my life. I've let that one, thought, oh, it's not going to happen. It's all good. I think going to college, I thought I would be a bar owner, and I would just surf and drink every day. That was my goal in life.
You wrote
at
that
one
down.
Point. Yeah. I definitely put it out there. But no, I want to be a professional athlete. I'm more interested in the PR7s league here in the United States, get a season in with that and see where that leads.
Yeah.
Ultimately though, like I don't see rugby as really paying the bills in terms of playing rugby. Like playing rugby right now is, you could say, paying the bills, because I go to these tournaments, I make a lot of connections, and I sign up clients. Essentially every trip I go to pays for itself. Yeah. So, and then obviously social media, but I don't want to have to go to these tournaments to make, a living. So, ultimately my goal is to, be on the consistent grind on social media, putting out a lot of content, giving as much free information, useful information as I can, and tips and stuff, but also just relating to the guys. I've been doing that a lot with the B-rolls and getting success, but just use the consistency. So ultimately, get a following 100,000 plus, I think would be sustainable for my lifestyle, and just have a platform where basically I can passively help people, that it's just built out, whether that's on what are the platforms now everyone's
YouTube,
using?
Instagram,
or the other
is that
ones.
what you mean? School,
things like that, maybe that create where they can go through all the steps, and there's even like the regression videos and everything. Like they don't need so much hands-on, and make that very affordable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then put my one-on-one clients on really the highest end, and then even have guys, because there's so many guys that I've trained, a lot like Ben, that he trained, that are now the trainers, and the mentors. Like I can definitely see my business getting to a point where I'm like, I can't train all the people that are coming to me, and they're willing to pay top dollar for real in-person training. I just can't take any more of those guys. Yeah. And getting some of my current clients who want to do this line of work on board with that, and teaching them, okay, this is, hey, you know how we get, if someone's got, and they can ask me questions, but like for the most part, like they're handling the programming, they're handling the check-ins, they're getting on the calls with these guys and doing everything that, we've experienced basically with ATG. So I can help as many rugby players out as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And and athletes. You don't have to be a rugby player, but that's definitely who we're going to be like promoting.
So you even want to scale it and add more
coaches
under you.
Yeah, because
right?
I think
In
that would
rugby,
just be
yeah.
the natural progression. Like at some
Yeah.
point, I get so big, and yeah, I could say like, no, sorry, I'm not taking any applications.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when it opens, and I'm sure that will happen too. That's almost what happened recently. I got so
Right.
many guys, and then I was going on vacation. I was like, I'm just managing my guys, and I'm enjoying my vacation.
Right,
I'm
right.
not even worried about promoting my business right now.
That's great,
So it's
yeah.
almost like I was on a break.
Right.
You know, and so get to that point. Ultimately, I'd like to, when my lease is up here at the kind of just after the new year, maybe like, maybe it's like March actually, 2025.
Yeah, you
I'd
move
like
down in,
to
like,
take
March.
off to South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and all the rugby crazed countries.
Yeah.
And just play rugby there, you know, do maybe seminars with people. I'd like to be a name to where if like I reach out to teams, they're like, oh yeah, we see your stuff. Our
Showtime.
Our players, you know, are you know, into your exercise. We'd love for you to come through and do a seminar for our coaches.
Yeah.
You know, on training.
It's great, yeah.
And if I can get an opportunity to go play in a league over there, you know, and get that opportunity, that would be really cool. And if I'm still pursuing like more professional rugby and stuff like that and higher level and I'm still playing, which I'm sure I will be, this is only a year from now, then, you know, getting that experience will make me a better player and will help me get to the even next level if I want to go even further and further.
Yeah, that's a great vision, man.
That's pretty much it,
Yeah,
though.
you got it
Like,
mapped out.
Past that, I'm like, I haven't thought about like, you know, obviously I'd like
Grand
land and
vision,
stuff, but
yeah.
like where I want to live, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know yet. I haven't seen the rest of the world, you know?
I mean, that's a great exercise. You don't even have to picture like exactly where you want to live, but the type of setting,
Right.
you know, would probably be helpful for helping manifest it. Maybe that could be your, what are you proud of today? Tomorrow, it's like, I'm proud of fucking living in a village with my family and my friends and shit like that. And,
Yeah. What are you
start
proud of
there.
accomplishing in the next 5 years?
Yeah. What are you proud of accomplishing in the next 5 years? Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good question.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
And then you know, and even in a
12
year,
years. Yeah.
you know, and
The Uncom thing was a year, 5 years, and 12 years.
a year, 5 years, and 12 years. That's solid. That's solid. And so, what is this farm, commune? Is this a 5 year?
For me, it's actually 20. That's
It's
what
the
I'm
20
picturing.
year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So by the time I'm 50, have it bought and done, right? So how it's gonna get there, I'll leave that up to the universe. But as far as like what I plan on doing in the next 5-10 years, I definitely think it's very achievable, especially done outside the country, right? I have Colombian citizenship. Wouldn't be hard to get people over there either.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So.
I tell you what, my buddies will sign up.
To go to Colombia? Yeah.
One of my boys is single, has figured out he loves Colombians. And,
Latinas.
oh yeah, big Latina guy. And he made some friends in El Salvador, let me tell you. And but yeah, he'll definitely take you up on the commune in Colombia because
Yeah.
that's top of his list of places to visit.
Yeah.
Just for the women and to party and
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff. And is there surfing? Is there a coast?
Oh,
in Colombia?
absolutely.
There
Yeah.
is, right?
Barranquilla, lots of surfing there. San
Sweet.
Andres surfing.
Shit, man.
Yeah, and then it's really easy to travel to like Brazil or like other countries once you're
It's
down
pretty
there.
central.
There's a lot of surfing in Brazil.
Right.
A lot of Rio. You know, you've probably heard stories
Oh
about
yeah,
Rio.
I mean
Yeah,
some of the best
Argentina,
in the world are from
Chile.
Brazil.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
That's
in
awesome.
every competition, it's like, you know, the Americans, the Hawaiians, the Australians, and the
Yeah.
Brazilians.
Yeah,
It's
you'd
like
have
the
to fly
biggest.
there though. You can't take a van through the Amazon. That'd be kind of hard.
No, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I won't even take a van through Mexico anymore. Are you kidding me? After
Yeah.
what happened to those surfers,
Oh, what happened?
rest in peace.
That's crazy.
This one guy, probably the most famous of the three. There's two brothers from Australia.
Yeah.
One of them, this guy named Colin, kind of looks like me, which made it even more scary.
Yeah.
Long hair, real athletic guy. He was a professional lacrosse player in the States. And he actually went to college with one of my buddies that I went to high school with. And they
Wow.
won a national championship together.
Yeah.
And him and his brother and their friend were surfing in Mexico the week before me and my boys went to El Salvador. It was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they were camping, like kind of out in the outskirts, but they were between nights on their Airbnbs. and some locals like rolled up on them to steal like their tires of their truck and stupid shit, and they ended up murdering all 3 of them and threw them into a well. Yeah, shot all of them. Yeah, it's tragic. Totally like rocked the surfing world, and I mean tourism in general definitely is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because especially surfers, you know, we send it to those parts of the world like, all the time and love to camp out and just live our free lives.
Yeah.
And for guys like that to be taken out like that is really scary.
Yeah, it's sad. We're gonna end it on a high note. No, but I look forward to a world where like that is going to be a lot less common.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, you need more guys. Like I think I was talking about it with actually this couple that's been coming in here at the same time as me and Young, like off hours a lot. They're a couple surfers, and the woman's from Peru. And they go down there a lot. And we were talking about El Salvador, and you know the president there has totally cleaned up the country.
That's great.
El Salvador is the second safest place, the second lowest murder rate in the Americas.
Wow, you don't hear that. I always hear that it's dangerous.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
wild.
only been like that for the last almost 2 years.
What's number 1? Costa Rica?
No, number one least is Canada.
Oh,
Of course, you know.
Makes sense, yeah.
but they're only second to Canada. Like
Right.
you know, it has like no murders.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing because they in 1 year they went from the highest murder rate in the world to the second lowest, only to Canada. So
that's crazy.
The president
they just
just-
stopped counting the murders? Or? No, I mean
don't
that's
count 'em, they
insane.
didn't have
Like
it.
1 year is pretty crazy.
the president, he just had enough, and he just locked everybody up. He locked up like 1% of the population, which was like, you know, hardened criminals, gang members, for the most part. And yeah, he just locked them up in a max security prison. They'll never see the light of day again.
Wow.
And he's not messing around. And immediately, murder rate went down. Everyone can now like freely run their businesses without being extorted.
That's great.
You know, because that's what a lot of it was. It was like people, because we met a bunch of locals over there, and we're talking to them, and they were like, yeah, it's like, you know, you would be selling pupusas on your little stand, and they would come up to you and be like, all right, now half of what you make a week, you got to pay us.
Jeez.
How are you going to make a living? So oftentimes these people were behind on, you know, they might
Rent
only
and
be
stuff,
behind for
yeah.
$5, but they'll murder you over that.
Wow.
Just to make a statement that you just can't get it wrong with
That's
them.
wild. Yeah.
So.
Wow.
But yeah, so if we take notes from that guy and apply that to every country and even every city in the United States, just lock all these guys up.
Yeah, you know, I don't even know the answer when it comes to politics like that. I really think that we just need to create abundance even more, you know, and that's some stuff we can get deep into on the next few podcasts. Is like some of the things that are being hidden from our knowledge by the powers that be that can absolutely bring game-changing things into the world that will make everything a lot less tight. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a lot less people looking for ways to extort money from others. But yeah, we can get into that, man. So I would say, you know, like where can we find you? What's your Instagram handle? Do you have a website?
Yeah, you can hit me up at Showtime Tillman, and that's pretty much it. I'm an Instagram guy pretty much exclusively right now. I don't do much on anything else. So
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome, dude.
Showtime Tillman, bro.
Let's
Appreciate
go.
you having me on,
Of course,
my man.
brother.
This
Yeah.
is great.
First
Great
of many.
pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Sounds good.
We're so this is gonna be uploaded under Physical Freedom. It's gonna be my podcast, but I'm gonna have it on all platforms. And if you don't mind, like shout it out to your people as well, just so
Definitely.
they can hear some of your thoughts. Because I definitely think rugby players and surfers alike will take a lot from this, and really anybody can apply what we've talked about today and like lead a much healthier, better life. And get Jack Guns, flex for the camera real quick. Yeah, baby.
It's all real, baby.
Yeah.
All natty.
And yeah, we'll work out something with the online coaching. Maybe I can help you build out your mentorship, and I'll help you get more flexible, because I think that's a big part of being a better athlete too, right? It's just applying certain things, and maybe you can learn some stuff for rugby players to help them with coaching, because I know a lot of athletes are tight just because we were so used to lifting heavy, and you're already a really flexible guy, but taking it to the next level, I think, wouldn't be a bad thing.
Dude,
right?
I'll take any and all advice as usual, bro. You've been a real pleasure to talk to the whole time I've been here the last 4 months. It's
Thanks,
been
brother.
a life-changing experience being here.
Yeah.
And guys like yourself, I mean, you're one of the few that actually like really live this type of work that we're doing, that are in the
Personal training,
in the
yeah.
business, like
On the
on a
in the
day-to-day.
trenches, baby.
You're in the trenches.
Let's go.
Really changing people's lives. So yeah, it's great to be able to relate, and this is another level of that. So appreciate you having me
Yeah,
on.
100%, brother. My pleasure. So yeah, Physical Freedom Guy on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn. Yeah, you name it. And yeah, just want to keep bringing guys on, talking a little bit more about ways to help you improve your life, reverse out the effects of sitting, and just improve your pain-free ability, because that's a lot of my focus. But also getting guys jacked. I think we can definitely get guys jacked. I've done the weight loss thing. I've got down to like 180. The past year and a half, like I put on about 50 pounds. I would say probably like 30 of that was muscle, 20 of that was fat. But just learning along as I go. I think coming a long way from like where I was at to now. I'm super confident. I've been to help people, and I've had a lot of life-changing results with that. So if you want to check out the newest ebook I put out, is the Physical Freedom Blueprint. It gives you everything you need to reverse out the effects of sitting. It gives you 7 principles for lifelong strength. A lot of it is correlated to the ATG principles, and ways that you can tailor your training to improve your longevity and pain-free ability. And then 7 different ways to improve your energy levels, because I think that's the biggest thing, like we were talking about earlier. Diet is just one factor of it, but you can find a lot of guidance in there that I used on my journey from 290 pounds down to 180 in fighting shape, and actually competed in Muay Thai. But you can use a lot of that, and easy ways to apply it, especially for busy professionals. Had the experience of working in a cubicle myself, making my way up the ladder from that, and experiencing the effects of that just sitting down 8+ hours a day. So yeah, tune in for more. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, share with anybody that could find this information useful. If you know any surfers that also sit at a desk for 8 hours a day, that'd be fucking amazing. Really find that niche.
Most people do. You know,
Yeah.
I think a good niche for you, bro, would honestly be what you do and combined with what you did. Because what you did is the cubicle guy, right? You can relate to that guy.
Yeah.
But you know what he's going through. So you know what he can add into his life. And you know what excuses he can make and what excuses he can't.
Yeah.
But you can also obviously relate, and I'll attest to this, that he's an absolute animal on the mats. I don't want none of that, bro.
Jiu-jitsu.
Fucking jiu-jitsu, and I can imagine anything else. Like Muay Thai, forget about it. So I think that should be really tied into your niche. I think you could be major star in the rec athlete jiu-jitsu guy, like the jiu-jitsu guy who works at like a regular job, which is 99.9% of jiu-jitsu guys. Even the pros are, a lot of them have to work a second job. It's not a huge money sport. So, I think that, because now you're niching down even more, because so many guys do the office stuff, but they can't relate to you in your other ways, right? Because you've always been this like athlete, at least like for a minute you've been, a pretty hardcore athlete.
Not really.
Now, how long have you been doing the Muay Thai?
I did Muay Thai for about 4.5 years.
You're humble, bro. That's a while. It's half a decade.
No, I mean, but I did it during my weight loss journey. So from the time I was 23 to about 27, 28. Yeah.
Okay, but that's half a decade. You've been getting after it. So guys are over halfway to their black belts in that same time frame. So, and I'll say, dude, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 7 years, very off and on, but I'm an athletic guy. Like, usually can give people some trouble on the mats, especially if they've never rolled with me before. Couldn't give this guy much business on the mats, dude. He's an absolute
white
savage.
belt, man.
Exactly. Exactly. You're a fucking white belt, and you fucking destroyed me. So I'm telling you, like, I think, really, really could be amazing if you just say, like, hey, are you a jiu-jitsu athlete who wants to continue being better jiu-jitsu athlete, but you sit at a desk all day? Here's how that's screwing you up, but here's how you can reverse out of it.
Yeah.
And that's more entertaining too. That would be more entertaining for you and for the viewer. Who is that person?
Yeah.
So because
I like that.
yeah, dude, you got to capitalize, bro. I will put my name on your jiu-jitsu being 100% legit. I know you're a white belt. Nobody gives a shit about that. They care about, can you relate to the mat life? Yes, you can, because you're training. Can you relate to the other stuff? Obviously. Do you know what you're talking about? Yes. If they try your stuff, will they get the results? Yes. Can you show testimonials? Yes. You have everything, bro. You have everything going for you with both of that. And dude, honestly, you should do some jiu-jitsu competitions because I think you would get some medals real quick. You'd level up real quick. And I mean, that's also, that hits home. And the fact that I could do what I'm doing right now, even better than I'm doing it, without even being a good rugby player. I don't even have to play rugby. Most of the guys in my space that do what I do, who have way more followers than me and do a lot better business-wise than me right now, they don't even play rugby. You know what they do? They do jiu-jitsu. Because they got hurt playing rugby and they just don't even go back to the sport. Yet they're giving other people advice on doing it. Now, I'm not saying that they're not giving people good advice. It is what it is. But I think that makes me stand aside.
100%. Yeah, you're in the trenches.
As it should be, right? But I'm almost leaning on that too much. I'm leaning on too much of like, hey, look at my highlights, hire me. Because I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, but I don't even need to do that. But you're someone that could do that. You could do both.
Yeah.
And I think if I can do everything they're doing plus my highlights, then, I'm unstoppable.
Yeah.
And I think you're in the same boat. I think
Thanks,
you're right
brother.
there. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I need to get more into jiu-jitsu, man. I just quit Concept because just spending too much time personal training.
Oh, shit.
So once I get my financial situation up, like some of this online stuff gets going,
Yeah,
I'll be on the mats like every day. I just
Yeah.
need to do that.
Well, Saturdays can be a day for you. Maybe if you go to Open Mat and you video record, if they're cool with that, you video record some of your roles.
Yeah.
Dude, we can go together. I'm still gonna try. You're gonna fuck me up, and you can.
I'm not gonna try to fuck you up, man. I'm sorry. Like,
Just
I
don't let me.
held on too
Don't
long.
let me fuck you up, and it'll look good, and you'll have a little highlight reel, and you just post that with your content.
Yeah.
And like that shit could go off. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, people will be like, hell yeah, this is awesome. You'll
Yeah.
get more comments. The
Just
boys
start-
want to see it. The boys will be all about it. They'll be like, this is fire.
I'll just start doing flips.
Yeah,
and
dude,
shit.
just kick a bag.
Yeah.
Do whatever.
Oh, I do that. Like the Muay Thai stuff, I should start doing that. Like there's a
Post all of it.
UFC Clearwater gym or Largo gym that just opened up. It's like $10 monthly membership. If you ever
What?
if you ever want to go in there and
Dude,
hit
bring
the
me in there
bag.
and show me some shit.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Oh, yeah.
That can be
That'd
your
be awesome.
payment for for
Online
whatever
mentorship,
mentorship I can give you.
Let's
yeah.
do it, man.
Let's
All right,
fucking
brother.
do that.
Looking forward to
All
it.
right, my man.
Let's sign off.
Yes, sir.
Make sure to subscribe. Oh, my butt.
Yeah, dude, you tried you really experimented with how many ways you can sit on this thing.